All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my special guest, Johnson C. Smith University quarterback, Kelvin Durham Jr. Man, how's it going, man?
Yes, sir. It's been going good. I appreciate you for having me and reaching out to me. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, for sure, man. And for those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell them who you are.
My name is Kelvin Durham, like you said, quarterback at Johnson C. Smith University. I played my previous 3 seasons at Fort Valley State University. I'm from Miami, Florida. And like I said, quarterback. Just finished my last year of eligibility. Looking forward to my next stage.
Oh, for sure, man. So, for you growing up in Florida, man, what got you into football?
In Florida, football is, one of the biggest things. So right when I was able to walk and run, my family, my mom and dad signed me up for football. So I've been playing football since I've been able to read and write, so it's really been a lifestyle, really. Just been around football for so long and, falling in love with the game at a young age, just being able to play to the age I am now, just nothing but a blessing. So
Oh, absolutely, man. Like once you get into it, it's just it's better to get it at an early age
yes,
than get it at
sir.
a later stage.
Yes, sir.
But what were the offers like coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school, actually, I didn't really have a lot of offers. I was rated a two-star prospect, but I didn't have, a lot of offers behind it. I ended up committing to Arkansas Pine Bluff right before the spring of my senior season, but they ended up making a coaching change. So that's how I ended up at Fort Valley State.
Okay. So what was intriguing about Fort Valley State that led you to go there?
Really just the coach staff showed me a tremendous amount of love. The coach staff, the head coach who was there at that time was Maurice Flowers, who was actually my head coach at Johnson C. Smith. So when he recruited me out of high school, he really showed that he really wanted me to be a part of his team and a part of his quarterback room. He was a great quarterback himself when he played in college. So I feel like that was the perfect opportunity for me to, further my career.
And it led you to go to Johnson C. Smith University that following, like after those years you were at Fort Valley, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you transferred to Johnson C. Smith University, which is in Charlotte, man. What intrigued you to go over there? Was it because of the coach?
Yes, it was because of the coach. I actually played. He left my freshman year from Fort Valley, so I ended up staying at Fort Valley for 3 years. Playing at the new coach staff. But like I said, he was a guy who recruited me out of high school, and he was a quarterback guy himself. So his team, they were just a quarterback away from reaching the level they wanted to reach, and I felt like that'd be the best spot for me to make improvement as a quarterback that I know I could be. And he was the right guy for it. He's known me since I was a high schooler to now. So I felt like that was the perfect decision for me to make. Go to a guy who knows my play style, my strengths, my weaknesses, and who can get the full, everything out of me. And he did exactly that.
Well, it was just meant to be then, because you had
Yes,
him as
sir.
a freshman. You had him as, I mean, he was watching you from high school, and then he was there with you for your freshman year, and then,
Exactly.
y-
Exactly.
and then you
Everything
go into
happens
your
for a reason.
yeah, and then you go into your final year into a different program, and I guess match made in heaven, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what do you take away from your experience over there?
From Johnson C. Smith or Fort
Yeah,
Valley?
uh, Fort Valley first, and then what do you take away from the other one?
My experience at Fort Valley was a pretty good one. It was a great one actually. I'll say, I ended up leaving there with the all-time passing record for Fort Valley State. So there, it was just about me making that transition from high schooler to a college quarterback. Being mature and handling my responsibility. So my first couple of years, it was a little rocky. It was a lot of trying to get used to the new level, the new type of lifestyle that I was living, But I think that made me a better quarterback, because as a quarterback you have to be a leader. You have to make sure you're doing everything the right way. And I think Fort Valley, helped me prepare to be a professional and things like that. So I had a great experience at Fort Valley. Never had a losing season at Fort Valley. All fun times at Fort Valley. Great teammates, great coaching staff, I enjoyed my time there at Fort Valley.
Oh, that's good to know. And then what's the experience for your 1 year at Johnson C. Smith University?
Yeah, the experience at Johnson C. Smith was amazing, man. It's just the first day, I walked into campus, just the amount of love the coaching staff showed to me, the way the team, just accepted me with open arms and things like that. Those guys made me feel like family from my first day I walked in. So and then, it all worked out. My last season, we had a lot of seniors on our team, who kind of had the same goal. We all want to be champions and things like that. So we were able to win as a conference championship for the first time in 50 years at the school and make the first ever playoff appearance. So just making history at the school, that felt amazing, something that would live with us for the rest of our lives. So,
Well, that's good to know. At least you kind of gave them a chance to compete for the championship, so that's good. I
yes,
mean,
sir.
I guess a proven winner from Fort Valley, and then now a proven winner over here, man. That's pretty
Yes,
good.
sir. Yes, sir.
I guess you're a team player, but why should NFL teams draft you, and what makes you separate from the rest of the quarterbacks?
Uh, Honestly, I think I'm more separated because just my determined to win. Winning is the main goal when it comes to football and things like that. And I think I'm a high competitor, and I think that travels throughout the rest of my team. They see how much how much it matters to me. And just pushing my guys around me, and just overall impacting the team and into a winning standard. They have a guy they could look at. Whenever things get good, whenever things get bad, I remain the same level-headed quarterback. Things like that. And I believe I have a pretty good track record. Like I said, never having a losing season in college, and then having records at two different universities and things like that. So, I feel like that kind of separates me as well from other quarterbacks.
I mean, you're a program changer. That's what it seems like. Because
Yes, sir.
I guess anywhere you go, you turn them into winners. That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, what NFL teams have you met with?
I met with the coach, one of the scouts from Green Bay Packers.
Okay, that's intriguing because Matt LaFleur can develop quarterbacks, man.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
that's got to
sir.
be intriguing to be on that radar because Malik Willis will be a free agent. So maybe they might look into you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes as planned. I'm just trying to do what I can do in the meantime.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like it will take a lot of determination. But what do you take away from that Legacy Bowl? Because I know you were one of those participants over there.
Yeah, the Legacy Bowl was a great experience actually for me, just to be around, the top HBCU players in the country and things like that, and being able to showcase, my talents with me being, a D2 guy, being able to play with the top guys in D1 and show the scouts that I could play at any level of competition. So that was a great experience for me and my teammates. We really enjoyed the weekend. The week actually. So it was great. Met a lot of people, learned a lot of new things and stuff like that. So it was great. It was great.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, just from all that, man, like what kind of style of offense that you played at Fort Valley State and what you did at Johnson C. Smith University that could translate to the next level?
Uh, I say at Fort Valley State, we were pretty much a run heavy offense. So that really helped me mentally. Actually, I say because as a quarterback, we want to throw the ball around as much as we can. So I had to figure out other ways that I can impact the game and make our offense still a threat. So that offense helped me with my pre to post snap reads and stuff like that. Learn how to read the box, learn how to read three techs and shays and different techniques the defensive line want to use, and knowing what's a great box to run at and what type of runs to use against this box. Whether it's a counter or whether it's zone and things like that. So I think that'll help me a lot going into the next level. And then at Johnson C. Smith, it was kind of similar offense, but we were more pass heavy, and it was pass heavy offense, and it was two high or one high reads for the most part. So it helped me get to my pre to post snap reads. I had to be a lot faster making my decisions. Whether it's one high safety, I'm reading the left side of the field, or if it's two high safety, I'm reading the right side of the field. So I think that'll help me with my progression going into the next level, and how to speed my progression up and things like that. Because at my last school, right, we didn't really have like like read keys and like pass keys for the pass game. But my second offense, we had like rules in our pass. If it's too high, we have to go to this side of the field to your check down and things like that. So I think that helped me make my reads a lot faster.
So when you first started in college, you were playing on a more run heavy offense, and then going into your last season at this program, you were able to throw the ball a little bit more. That's okay. They wanted to see if you can carry that load a little bit, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So
you
I can
proved
do both,
otherwise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what do you take away your entire college career that you could learn from to go into the next level?
The biggest thing that I can learn is, at the quarterback position, you have to be level. We have to be mellow. Everyone's just looking at you, whether we're winning or whether we're losing. And it's good and it's bad. But you have to take that as a quarterback. Whether no matter what you did in the game, wins or losses are pretty much a quarterback and head coach that. So I have to learn that as well. No matter how good I might have played, I have to play better for us to win the game if we lost, things like that. And just knowing that, quarterbacks, as you can see in the next level, teams who have a great, good quarterback have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So that's another thing that's registered in my mind. Like just make sure I'm doing my part. Make sure I do what I have to do first before I could, be on anyone else about doing their part and things like that. And once God see I'm, doing everything I can and everything that I need to do, they'll follow along and do the same thing.
Oh, for sure, man. Speaking of your position, who do you model your game after, and what do you emulate the most on?
I don't really have one guy. I say I model my game after. I kind of pick up from different quarterbacks. Like I love Lamar's pockets presence, escapability in the pocket and things like that. So I watch a lot of his pocket movements and things like that. I like the way Matthew Stafford uses his eyes against the defense and stuff like that. We know where our receiver is supposed to end up at, but the defense doesn't have an idea. So using his eyes to manipulate the defense. And another quarterback, of course, Tom Brady. The biggest thing with him is knowing that I don't have to take shots every play to be a successful quarterback. Take it's not bad to take a check down and things like that. So I think I take different games, like different pieces of parts from different players that I like to watch and try to put it in one.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it because you want to mix it and emulate it into your style. So
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
there's nothing
sir.
wrong with that one. So how do you prepare for your opponents, and what's your pregame game day routine?
So preparation throughout the week, we get film probably around that Monday, things like that. So I'll probably watch the film by myself, back like at home by myself just to see what I see, that like things that jump off the screen at first. And we have meetings later on that day. So I'll meet again with the team, the offense, the quarterback coach, and we'll break down film again and just breaking down, first and longs, second and short, second and long, third and short, third and long, and things like that. And then, try to get an idea of what type of scheme are they're trying to do and what guys are they trying to hide in that scheme and stuff like that. So, try to get as much film time as possible as I can with my coaches, my teammates, my receivers, my O line, my running back, so we all be on the same page. And then just really taking what they give us, making our adjustments, making our corrections, to see our what the strengths of their defense is and what their weaknesses.
It's having reception issues. Let me check. Okay, he's going back in. You good?
Yes, sir. I'm good. I think you just I don't know what happened.
Must be the reception issue.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, hopefully I should be good now though.
Yeah, we were talking about how you prepare for your opponents in the game day routine.
Yeah, so get a lot of heavy dose of film. Watch trying to learn their team, and trying to learn what they're trying to accomplish at the end of the day. So I'm watching film with my coaches, my teammates, and get some time by myself. And then game day routine, it's nothing really crazy. You know, I get up pretty early. Whether it's an early game or a night game, I just like to be up. I just having not the pre-game jitters, but just ready to go out there and play. So I'd be up 6, 7 in the morning on game day, just watching football, watching just relaxing my mind really. Whether that's talking back to my mom or dad who's back home, my grandparents on the phone with them, or just watching college game day or something on the television before the game. Then we have our team meals and team walkthroughs before the game. And then right after the team walkthrough, when we leave in the hotel, that's when I kind of lock in mentally with my headphones and stuff like that, visualizing myself making plays and visualizing my read keys, the defense they're going to be in, and stuff like that. Just trying to visualize the game and stuff like that. And really that takes me all the way up to game time. Get to the field, get a couple early throws in with my receivers, some band work, little things like that to get my body ready for the game. And then now it's game time.
Okay, that's a good way to go. Like go in that preparation and all that other stuff for game day. So what's the area of weakness that you need to improve on at the next level?
Uh, One big thing I know I want to work on is my anticipation. You know, but that comes with a lot of film study as well. So I know the next level, their secondary is going to be much faster. The D line is going to be much quicker. So I have to and improve the speed of my reads now. Be quicker in my reads and and I think another thing I think I need to work on is more velocity when I throw the ball. I think I throw a lot of my passes with touch, with things like that. So working on, whipping the ball faster across the middle of the field, things like that.
Okay, those are definitely good qualities to improve on. I mean, everybody has certain weakness that we all can work on. I mean, not everybody
Yes,
is
sir.
perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get to know more about you. So, outside of football, who are you as a person?
Me as a person, honestly, it's football has really been my main identity for so long. So, this is the stage where I'm figuring out what's going to be after football. But I just love the game so much. Love being around it. Love the younger generation. So like my biggest thing is trying to give as much knowledge as I can to the ones who's under me, who's younger than me, and things like that. So I think that's just the biggest thing. I just want to see everyone win and just get back as much as I could.
Okay, so you're just all football, but you are a family person for sure. So,
Yes, sir. Family person. Yes, sir. I have what 5 younger siblings. I can go there. When I'm not doing football, I'm spending a lot of time with family, whether it's traveling, going back home, or going to watch my sister play her games, or watching my brother play his games, or stuff like that. Just being a family guy, because football takes so
family
much of
guy.
my time. So whenever I'm away from me, I try to spend as much time with family.
Family guy are supportive. That's a good thing to put in the qualities. But you are a football
Uh,
junkie because the quarterback position they got to be football junkies
I
in
say
this.
I had to. I want to be good at my job. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like studying the books. You're like that nerd category because that's what the quarterback is technically the
Exactly.
nerd. They have to read stuff and be ahead of
Yes,
everything.
sir. Yes,
The
sir.
leader of the team too. So the more
Exactly. It's a
responsibility
lot.
too. So
It's a lot we have to do. So you got to stay locked in at all times.
so let's put it this way: why do you feel like the quarterback position is so important in any other football sport, like college and NFL, or any other football sport in general? Why do you feel it's more important?
I feel it's so important because it's basically the coach on the field. You have to know the assignment of everyone on the field, including yours and including the guys you're going against. You got to know their strengths and weaknesses. You got to know your teammates' strengths and weaknesses. You have to know everything you have to know everything, the whole runaround. So it's very important to have a good quarterback because we've seen teams who had all the talent but had mediocre QB play and not win as much as they expected to win. But you see teams with great quarterback play and mediocre help on the outsides and everything else, and they're pretty successful. So I think the quarterback position is one of those positions you have to hit right on and be correct on and have the right guy, and that for you to have if you want a chance to win the championship or just win in general.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're right about that. You gotta have somebody who can lead. You gotta have somebody who
Yes,
can
sir.
put a
Someone you can
team in a
trust in that, things like that, trust and I think that's the biggest thing. If your teammates don't trust you, it's hard to win like that, because now
yeah.
they're not only worried about doing their job, they're trying to make sure they do yours, like those little things like that. So I think having a good quarterback takes a lot of stress off, the players
Oh, for sure,
and
man.
coaches as well. So
Man, they are a coach on the field on offense. They're the ones that have to follow the coach's orders, but they actually do their own plays too. So
exactly, exactly.
yeah, you're like the general is what they would say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because the coach is the sergeant or something, but you always got to be the main leader. So yeah. So let's do some rapid fire. Let's know more outside of you on the other way. I mean, let's see. Since you probably seem like a video game guy, do you prefer Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation, easy.
Madden
PlayStation.
or NCAA?
NCAA.
Okay, that you can't go wrong with it. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
Madden
think
will
I
part.
really
What?
think it's because NCAA had that time where they were gone for so long. So now that it's back, I think I just been leaning more toward NCAA more than Mad.
Yeah, NCAA was a thing when I was coming out of high school, so it was like so long time ago. So
Yeah, facts. I was real young when it first came out. So yeah, now it's back, and now I'm older now. So I think that's why I lean towards that so much.
yeah,
But I love Madden as well.
yeah, I kind of miss the days of the NCAA because I think the last one they had, I think it was the one with Vince Young, or was it the one with Reggie Bush on the cover, if I'm mistaken?
No, I think the last one they made was with Denard Robinson on the cover from
Oh,
Michigan.
Denard Robinson, huh? That was the quarter. That was the guy from Michigan, huh? Yeah.
Michigan, yeah, yeah.
So that was the last one they actually made because I thought it was the one with Reggie Bush. I don't know.
Yeah, that was like 2012, I think, or 11. I think Bush was like 9, and then Vince Young was 10, and I think
It
Denard
was
Robinson
one of
was.
them, but it was like one of. See, that's so long time ago though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
It's
uh,
been so long.
it's just that's just how long ago it was. Like you said, yeah, NCAA is definitely one of the games you got to play for because it's been so long since they made it. I never understood why they cancel it.
Yeah, facts, man.
Like
Glad
it
it's
was
back
fun.
though. Glad it's
Yeah,
back.
yeah, it's a lot of fun to play in that video game. Don't get me wrong, I like Madden too, but like I don't know, like if you think of it that way, Madden's pretty creative, but then you got NCAA, you can pick any other small college schools or any other schools
No,
in general.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah, and
exactly.
then you can do like career mode or something where you can just go to college and pick any other university that recruits you.
Yeah, see, that's fun. That's a lot of options, a lot of a lot of things, different things you can do with the NCAA.
Yeah. Okay, since you be on your cheat diet, let's say you go somewhere, you're in the middle of nowhere, you go with McDonald's or Burger King, what are you choosing?
Ah, I'll probably say McDonald's.
Okay. What would you order?
Probably just get some nuggets, 10 count nuggets, medium
Okay.
fry.
Can't go wrong with that, man. Those nuggets are the shiznit, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they got the best nuggets by far, hands down.
yeah, I love their nuggets, man. I love it.
The only thing I don't usually like is their burgers are okay, but if I had to choose, I would go with Burger King's burgers, Whoppers. They're better. Just
Yeah,
my opinion.
facts, definitely.
But the nuggets, you can't go wrong, and the fries, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, fact. I love their fries though. Really, really though.
yeah. For a sports drink, Gatorade, Propel, or Under Armour drink, if you had to choose.
Gatorade. But
Okay, what's your favorite?
I like going liquid IV. That's really what I've been drinking more of these past couple years.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's really my go to, the liquid IV. I'd rather get that before I get Gatorade or anything else.
Okay, that's understandable. I mean, so what kind of dieting or workout does your coaches have you do? Because I know for your guys' position, you got to be at a certain weight and be at a certain better shape in the field.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, I think I'm the biggest thing with me is just maintaining my weight. Because I'm at like at 218 right now, 215 area, so I think that's pretty good. The biggest thing with me is just maintaining my shoulders and stuff like that. Making sure my rotation of my shoulders are still good and not because I throw a lot, so making sure I'm taking all my doing everything I can to make sure my shoulder doesn't get overused and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing is
Yeah,
taking care of my shoulders.
yeah, because especially those hits and those throws, you're gonna take a toll, and
Exactly.
there's better
Exactly.
ways to take care of your body. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Um, Okay, so what would be the most encouraging message for somebody that's in your situation? Let's say, like whatever you went through, what would be the advice for them?
Biggest thing I'll say, is keeping God first. Keeping God first and just knowing your worth and knowing, all the work that you put in over the years, and not to second guess yourself. Don't overthink anything. Knowing that everything happens for a reason. You're at this wherever you're at. You're there for a reason. And you're not there to fail. So just stay positive minded. That's the biggest thing I think that I would say that helped me a lot is keeping a positive mindset. You know, because if you're down to your head, you already lost the battle. So just winning it first in my mental, winning first with your mental.
Yeah, well said, man. It's true. Got to stay positive or find a way to keep your head up, even if things don't
Yes,
go
sir.
your way, like they say. Um, since we got people doing these recruiting pitching and all that stuff, man, like we can just use both your schools in some ways. Like, why should they go to Fort Valley State and why they should go to Johnson C. Smith University, man? You could put two different convincing factors.
Got you. I said why you should go to Fort Valley State. I mean, Fort Valley State has an amazing fan base out there. It's a school in the country area, so there's not really a lot going on in the city of Fort Valley. But for everyone to look forward to the Fort Valley State games on the weekends. So you're gonna have a lot of kids who look up to you, a lot of fans who really care about you, a lot of it's really a family orientated city over there in Fort Valley. It's a great school. I think it's like one of the number one public HBCUs in Georgia. So it's a great school. It's fun, great athletics, great academics. It's a fun place to be. And for Johnson C. Smith, it's pretty easy. If you want to win championships, that's where you need to go at. That coaching staff has a lot of experience. They actually have three head coaches on that roster as, position coaches or other things like that. So you're going to learn the game, the fundamental of football. You're going to learn how to be a professional. You're going to learn how to be a man and things like that. So they prepare you for all three stages of life. And you're in the city of Charlotte. So, it's a lot of fun things to do. Hornets games, Panthers games. So it's a great place to be, especially in this upcoming age now with how we just played last year.
Seems convincing. I mean, like you said, the other place is a family oriented place and it's a good program. Then you just said the other one's a winning program with championship and got better coaches there too. So, hey, man, that could be convincing for them to come here, anyways.
Yes,
Yeah. So okay, we all got backup plans, man. So what happens with what's your major and what's like your backup plan in case?
I'm in sports management right now. I mean, I'm just hoping to stay around the game as much as I can. Hopefully, I definitely hope I could take my talent to the next levels and things like that. But if I can't, I love to try to get into coaching, whether it's high school or the collegiate level. Just staying around the game as much as I can. Like I said earlier, giving back as much knowledge as I can to the next generation and the next guys coming up, the next group of guys who are in the same predicament I was coming out of high school and things like that. So just trying to make, the youth better, more black quarterbacks, educate them on things I didn't know when I was that age and what I just learned when I got to college. So that's my biggest thing is, trying to get back as much as I can.
So you would be like the big brother mentor or the life coach kind of category. Give them the perspective experience, tell them
Yes,
what you
sir.
felt like the same way
Yes,
as them.
sir. Yes, sir. And
And I'm sure they can relate.
that's kind of my role right now. As I'm waiting for the next, my next level with, the next, whether it's NFL, CFL, someone gives me a call. But as of right now, I'm working with my quarterbacks at Johnson C. Smith. Just helping them as much as I can. So, I appreciate my coaches for letting me stick around and being able to, give those guys that, that knowledge. And those guys, they be all in whenever we have, our little one-on-one meetings and field workouts. Those guys are dialed in and trying to learn more. And that just makes me feel so much better of what I'm doing. So
Oh, absolutely, dude. Like that helps a long ways, and for that next quarterback to be ready, he learned a
yes,
lot from
sir.
you, so
Yes,
he'll
sir.
be able to pick it up from here on out.
Yes, sir. He will.
Yeah, probably for the future. Maybe down the road, I'll see him in the interview, but
Yes,
not
sir.
this is just you. But okay, so everything's gonna play itself. But do you feel like the moment feels surreal, man? Like you grew up playing football. Did you ever thought this was a dream to come true for you, man? Because
Nah, it
kind of another
actually
people.
did. It felt surreal when I was at the Legacy Bowl. Just I was just talking to some of my old teammates, just saying like, this is some things that we work for, since I stepped foot at a HBCU and seeing some of my older teammates, get invited to the Legacy Bowl. And for me to talk about it with those guys, 3, 4 years ago and for it to actually happen, it felt surreal. Like I kept telling my friends and stuff like that, it kind of feel like a dream, bro. Like it doesn't feel real, and it just had to take in that moment, just and understand that I did work for everything that I have now, and I deserve to be here. So I think it was a crazy moment, man. I can't get a lot to you, man. After
Oh,
our first day of practice, yeah, it was a crazy feeling, man.
well, for sure, man. Like you put all the hard work, and now the hard work is paying off. I mean, whatever the
Yeah,
opportunity presents itself, man. But man, definitely appreciate your time, bro. I know that the moment and everything's starting to pay off, man. And whatever happens from your journey, man, I'm definitely rooting for you to succeed, man. Because
yes,
it's all
sir.
about taking the advantage of opportunities, man. Whenever it
Yes,
comes to
sir.
you, man, don't let it slip away, like they say. And before we end this, man, tell everybody what you're doing currently and tell them who you are again, and then we'll end on a high note.
Yes, sir. My name is Kelvin Durham, quarterback at Johnson C. Smith University, and right now I'm currently training for the NFL, CFL, or any other league that's willing to give me an opportunity.
You heard it here, man. His name is Calvin Durham Jr., man, quarterback, Johnson C. Smith University. This man is a quarterback program changer, man. Anywhere he goes, he's a proven winner, man. Whoever picks this guy up, you're picking up a coach on the football field. You're picking up a winner on the football field.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time, and for everybody else, thank you all for tuning in.
Yes, sir.